my sexy Dexter fans. Welcome to this week's little vlog by myself, in which I'm going to break down everything about Dexter Season 7, Episode 3, Buck the Freakin' System. So just before we get started, I'm going to run through a couple quick things. First of all, I'm really sorry that I didn't get a music video up this week on my channel, which is what I intend to do. I intend to try and put out a little work in progress, a song I'm doing, or a little cover, and it just didn't pan out this week. I had company in town with me, and so I had a lot to get ready to do. But if you feel like you've been gypped and let down by my lack of music, there is a link in the description, which is of a music video that I uploaded to my Tumblr. Not really so much a music video as it is just me playing my song that I wrote a few months ago and just dug it out, and it's called Solidarity. And so if you're interested in that, the video and lyrics are in the link below. Follow my Tumblr, I am the cruel one. So that is down there. And also, before I get going on breaking down this fantastic episode, I'd like to do a quick little shout out to my Twitter friend, Killer Carrot, aka Michael. He is a pretty fantastic individual and follows my vlogs avidly, so I thought that I would give him a little hey, you guys should follow him, there's a link in the description, and all that. He is a Dexter fan and in all other ways a fun person, so check that out. Anyways, so let us dive headlong into Buck the System. And I'm gonna say this real quick before you hate me forever. There are going to be lots of spoilers in this review, so brace yourself. If you're not caught up on everything yet, I would suggest you do so, because there is a lot to be broken down here. I'm going to try and keep my thoughts as concise as possible, but no promises, and I might not go through everything in order since I just watched the episode and I'm just kind of swimming in information. So here we go, Buck the System. So basically, if we're just looking at the title and its relation to everything that has happened in the episode, we see a movement throughout the episode of Dexter moving out from under the vicious thumb of Deborah in her attempt to help him curb and suppress his dark passenger. We see him coming out from under that to actually present to her his process, what he goes through to find a kill victim. And we see how he kind of proves essentially the flaws of the system. And Harry taught him these things, which is why he instilled within Dexter the code in the first place. And so Dexter presents to Deborah, you know, how his lizard brain works these things out, how he senses danger, how he dives into these things, how he never kills without being absolutely certain that these people are going to do the same thing except to innocent people. So that's a very interesting emotional journey, especially considering where we were in the last episode, Sunshine and Frosty Swirl, where Deborah's actually kind of getting to a point of trust and a sort of uneasy peace, but a peace nonetheless with Dexter, which is kind of shattered by Wayne Randall's sudden suicide. So it's interesting to see things so intense, so on edge, you know, like they're kind of in this chess match. There's a lot of different chess matches that are going on, so to speak. A lot of, you know, strategic moves and kind of subtle plays that are going on. And they're kind of on this back and forth. It's really interesting how Dexter has become so confident to Deborah. And, you know, she tells him, you're fucking with my head, and that he is. It's almost as though his transparency about where he is at is just causing her to enter a kind of breakdown internally, because she's starting to see the method to his madness, and she admits that in the very end. Also, I think it was interesting, towards the very end of the episode, Deborah is out, she's outside of her house, I believe, and she's walking on the beach. And you see how she's watching the waves. You know, the camera goes from her looking out at the ocean to just seeing the waves roll and curl in and come to the shore. And it reminds me of what Dexter was talking about when he was telling Deborah about his need and how, you know, it's a trickle that that bleeds into this surge that fills him up. And I think that was kind of, you know, a little connection to that, and how Deborah's thinking about his need, and thinking about how him fulfilling his need actually could have caught the new bad guy of this episode. I think Speltzer? I think that's his name. I might have it wrong. I'm gonna call him Speltzer anyway. Makes me think of like Alka-Seltzer, which is kind of weird, but yeah. And so she's guiltily understanding, almost seeming to admire where he comes from, but that's not something that she would admit to herself. That's not something that she admits to him. And I think that there is a lot within Deborah that was kind of born in this episode that's going to be revealed later. She has a lot of you can just see that there is so much just burning beneath her face. Like every time I look at her, I just feel like she is about to erupt. She is on the cusp and the edge of something enormous that is just going to come out. And I don't know if that's related to like her feelings for Dexter. Could be potentially. Not exactly sure. She's makes sense that she's a little bit conflicted right now. I think we need to forgive her for that. That's going to be the norm for just a little while. So at any rate, we see Dexter attempting to buck the system, and Deborah kind of dives in and attempts to show him that, you know, the system can work, and she's trying to kind of swim alongside him, but in her own way, and that gets her into enormous trouble with Speltzer, who's a very interesting kind of enemy. We haven't quite seen anyone like him yet on the show. He's got something about brute strength. He's got some seriously crazy fetishes, as we can tell by his kind of fun house of horrors, the labyrinth that he sends this poor unfortunate girl through. What with the flashing lights and the music, it's just this pure chaos. And I think that Dexter is going to find a very formidable foe in this guy, if not with Isaac, the head of the crime syndicate. For one thing, I did not see Lewis, his demise being at the hands of Isaac and his warpath to find Dexter. It almost seems like a little bit of karma at work, except for the part where now Dexter's name is in the hands of a not so nice individual who doesn't really let any witnesses escape. So I was a little bit bummed that Lewis was killed off so suddenly. I sensed that there was some very deep emotional layer that they were going to dive into. Judging by how ridiculously unfazed Lewis was by Dexter's confrontation of him in the apartment, how, you know, he's just kind of like, you know, they're smirking, they're making like the bedroom eyes at each other like the whole time, Dexter and Lewis, that is. And I just really sensed that there was a dark passenger that was going to be played into, not just some socially incapable freakwad who doesn't know what to do with his life. And you know, I was sensing that they were going to take it to the next level, but there's a lot of things they're going to take to the next level. So I will forgive you, Showtime. I will forgive you. Make this up to me. Go ahead, give it a try. So yeah, Dexter, you know, not only are Dexter and Deb playing back and forth in their own ways, but then Dexter and Lewis. And Dexter totally screws him over, you know, sends the ice truck killer hand back to Miami PD, frames Lewis as having sold it after he tried to get it back from Asuka. And then, praise the Lord, he also closes up the loose end of poor Jamie Batista, who sees the friggin' porn tape and gets a nice little clue. I was really happy. I was just like, yes. So it's funny because they tied up the loose ends with Lewis before setting him a sail into the land of death. And just as Dexter is not one to be trifled with, neither is Isaac. There's kind of this domino effect going on. There's all these layers. This show right now is like an ogre. And it has layers. I had this Shrek imagery in my mind that was pretty bad, but there's layers. Layers is what describes this. we are going deeper and deeper here. So yeah, that was really interesting to see unfold. And then also interesting that we got to see there's a full disclosure from Nadia with Quinn. You know, she's straight up honest that she's kind of entered this ploy with Isaac and his crew, playing with the big boys. And so Quinn is very confident in his ability to protect her, to, you know, give a little, take a little, and keep her safe in the midst of these affairs. But I am sensing that something sinister is awaiting Quinn. That is my personal feeling. I'm not so sure. I feel like there is some grievous oversight he's going to make. Something is just going to slip and it's all just gonna go crashing down. That's kind of what I'm thinking. But in terms of other things, oh yes, Hannah McKay, can't forget her. So I had seen the main scene in which she was. There's a little preview that was released the other week, and so I had seen that before. And I definitely think it was interesting, Dexter's encounter with her. I know that Michael C. Hall said in an interview that their first encounter, you know, things go from very light to very dark right before Dexter's eyes. He's walking into this beautiful garden that Hannah McKay has been keeping, and, you know, she's come to a place of creating and sustaining life even after everything she went through with Wayne Randall and getting mixed up in that pretty little mess. And so he comes in and he's sort of looking around at all these plants kind of in this sort of wonderment, and then he accidentally pricks his finger on a really sharp leaf or something on one of the plants, and Hannah McKay is like, you know, be careful, leaves are sharp. And I feel like that's a little bit of foreshadowing about the interactions between Hannah and Dexter, potentially, that there could be, you know, the tension that'll ensue between them as they start to inevitably come closer. So yeah, you can definitely tell that there is a lot underneath Hannah's mask. There is a lot of anger and disdain, and yet curiosity as she encounters Dexter, and he endeavors to keep things on a last name basis after their interesting little exchange. He's kind of slipping, fumbling, and, you know, there was another back and forth between them as well in their interactions, and I think that's definitely foreshadowing about things to come as they begin to intersect. That's going to be very interesting. Dexter is going to be in for a lot of company in these upcoming episodes, that's for sure. What with his new, with Speltzer, Alka-Seltzer, whatever on earth his name is, with Isaac, you know, he is going to be very known, as well as by Hannah McKay, and then Deborah is beginning to see deeper and deeper into things, and she has a choice to make. Is she going to move past understanding Dexter to accepting him? Okay, also, I have to say, I love how the episode started off. Dexter definitely was in the feeling like a caged animal, and he has some of these little, like, kind of dream sequences, if you will, in which, like, he kills the woman at the post office, just slashes her neck open after she closes the window he's been waiting to get in line at. And then, of course, the whole Masuka thing. Okay, we can officially unbunch all of our panties. Masuka is still around. That is just a reverie of a desperately dreaming Dexter. So I thought that was pretty hilarious, that both of those scenes I was laughing. And also I thought it was really interesting how Deborah's kind of trailing Dexter reminds me so much of Dokes. Of course, she relents a little bit later in the episode as she's starting to understand. And she sees yet again, you know, Dexter comes in to save her at the last minute, and, you know, there's a certain gratitude that she can't avoid, and, you know, Dexter says, I'm still your brother, we can make this work, nothing has changed, and everything has changed fundamentally for her. In some ways, for a strange sort of better, and in some ways for a very intense and morbid worse. But let me know what you guys thought about the episode. Which episode have you liked the most so far? The premiere, Are You? The second one, Sunshine and Frosty Swirl, or Buck the System. And let me know what you are anticipating for the future week. I know that the little preview they showed immediately after the episode was kind of focused on Dexter attempting to take down Mr. Funhouse, Viking Man. So, but we're going to see a lot of other things begin to unfold as well, I can only assume. So, I'm going to be writing a story for Dexter Daily very soon as well, so I will post a link as soon as that is up. Just check the description whenever you may be watching this. As always, please feel free to comment below, share with me your thoughts, your reactions throughout the episode. I love to talk to you guys. It's one of my favorite things to do. So, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you all enjoyed Bucking the System as much as I, and stay tuned for next week's exploration of Dexter's 4th chapter. You guys are fantastic. I'm out. Thank you so much for watching again. Keep it classy, keep it bloody for the next Sunday, Bloody Sunday.